Recording started.
Oh, shoot. Recorded live.
Good morning, good evening, wherever you may be, across the nation or around the world. Once again, you are listening to the VMware Communities Roundtable podcast. This is podcast number 526. My name is Eric Nelson. With me today, I have my regular co-host, Matt Lungeth. Today is Wednesday, it's not September 2nd, is it? It is September 2nd. We are in VMworld month. So, Matt, how you doing?
Eric, I'm well. I have a serious case of V-beard envy looking at the live video stream here of our guest today, Nick Howel. For those of you that are just joining us, if you want to join it in over at YouTube /V barbecue, you'll see what we're getting at. But how are you, sir? How's the weather out there? I hope things are clearing up with the fire situation, and that you're able to see the color of the bay. So what's the color of the bay, and how are things out in the valley?
The weather in California is always exciting as normal. The fires have subsided, which is good. Not so many things are burning, but it feels like the whole Bay Area is in a big bottom of a campfire. If you've ever watched the campfire drums where you look and it's just smoldering, the Bay Area is smoldering. So we've got giant clouds. It feels like I'm in the Northeast in January, right? You don't see the sun. It's big and cloudy. It's all white clouds and it's just a big smoke layer. So we are living in happy smoke layer. So I'll give the color of the bay just as white. We can't see it because you only have visibility of about a half a mile right now. So that's where we're at. But we're recovering. Thoughts go out to all the people that were impacted by it. I know some of the people back in their houses. J.R. Wormkessel's back in his house along the mountains. Alan Renouf lost his house, but the GoFundMe, thanks to all the V community that went into the GoFundMe page, I think they've raised over $50K for
62,000. I saw just as of last night. It's a tremendous effort. That's all of the contributions out there. That's just an amazing thing.
And that's going to be worth it because for him, I appreciate it. I mean, I went in and donated a couple $100 too, just because, when you lose your house, you've lost everything, all of the memento, all the things that you have to go replace. You have expenses that are going to last him 6 months while he figures out where he needs to go and live while they rebuild. So thanks to everybody for contributing there. That's a great thing to do. On the show today, we're going to be talking to the guys that are setting up Discord, right? So Orbital Jigsaw is the crew, and who we've got on the call to talk about that is Nick Howel. So Nick, welcome to the show. It's always good to see fellow V community members come in and do something cool. So thanks for being here.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Eric. I appreciate it. It was nice to hear the old talk shoe stuff from 10 to 12 years ago is still around. It's still there. The funny jokes about we used to make with John about that actually being his voice. All of those memories came rushing back. So yeah, it's really good to be here, guys. Hope everybody's well.
Yeah, great. Yeah, we have people, Julia Klaus, who kind of does our production for the various YouTube streaming stuff, is always like, come on, I want to replace the audio. We got some really cool stuff. And I'm like, nope. It's just going to be that. In fact, TalkShoe doesn't even have it anymore. We had to go back to old TalkShoe recordings, pull it out in Audacity, and now I play it in QuickTime before the beginning of the show, just so we can have it, right? It's like,
nice.
Yeah, when I retire, then the next guy that does this can decide whether he wants to do it, just because I'm a big fan of tradition, right? So
that's awesome.
Yeah, that's cool. So let's get to the news before we get to the topic, which is Orbital, which is your guys's entity, kind of like V Brown Bag or the Cube and others. You guys have built an entity to run Discord for us, right? To build a Discord environment where the V community can come hang out. And you guys are Discord experts, right? So
right.
We'll get to you, but thanks for being here. And it's going to be a fun topic today. So if you're listening, pay attention. And we got a good V barbecue report at the end of the show. So hang in with us for the whole show, and away we go. All right, so news, we'll just do the common call outs. September 29th, October 1st is going to be VMworld Online. It's free. Everybody can go there. We're here to talk about the Discord environment, which will also be super cool with live streams. So go register. I mean, you don't technically have to register to be over on Discord, but look, we're counting registrations. It's free to register. Go to VMworld.com, register, then come by the Discord site, get yourself set up. That's a call to action. You got to go do that. And you're going to need to register and get yourself set up. Don't show up on the day thinking that you're just going to drop right in. It's all going to be happy. Go learn a little bit about Discord. So September 29th through October 1st, VMworld, go register today and drag along a friend. It's free. Get your third monitor set up and let those 7 live streams run all day long. I guarantee you we're adding more stuff day by day. It's going to be a pretty cool environment. They did a snapshot of what it's going to look like. And we are going to try to build a community landing page that points people to the Discord server, and to the Cube is running some online interviews. So we're trying to build that out as well. So I think it's going to be really, kick butt. So go register and then be ready for a fun event and reserve those. Code Connect October 1st and 2nd. The content calendar goes live. We got Kit Colbert's going to come in and talk about automation on the vSphere side, as well as automation in Kubernetes and how Project Pacific blends those two. And the truth is, if you want to be a modern IT automator, where you're automating for Kubernetes, you don't have to do anything new. You can use PowerShell. You can do everything that you currently do on the vSphere platform because vSphere runs Kubernetes. So that keynote's going to be cool. We're reaching out to Joe Beta. Can't confirm whether he's going to do the second day keynote. But again, if you're automating the data center from the bottom up, you're not coming in from cloud native, you're bottom upping, and you want to add cloud native and you and it's all going to be
I think we're having some problems there with
VMworld. Top more of an Chris. I will flip over to Corey Romero.
Corey, you still with us?
Hi, I just disappeared. Boom, just dropped me completely, but everything rebounded here. Don't know if Corey's back or not. I know he's running the expert stuff. I know that the modern application subgroup was doing some work there. So I think he was going to talk a little bit about modern app. If he comes back in, we'll loop back to him.
There was an email that Corey had sent out. I would say for all vExperts to be on the lookout for that for the Cloud vExpert sub program, that application process has been extended, and the review period will be going out, and any announcements on that, I believe, on Friday the 11th. So look for Corey's note on that sub program in your email, and be on the lookout for that announcement on Friday the 11th.
All right, cool. That's good. Talk to you. They're telling me audio hasn't come back. I'm not sure if they've got audio back or not. Any audio? We just dropped for a minute. Don't know why. Anyway, we'll get to the show. We'll get that channel back up in a second. And maybe Corey will jump back to us as well. And with that, welcome to COVID-19 cable networking. Always fun. All right. While I do that, let's move on to the topic, and we'll continue on. All right. With this now, the announcement's over. News. Yeah, hey, it's all VMworld in September. Really excited about where we're going here. And Nick Howel, welcome to the show. We always do because it's a community podcast. Tell me, who are you? How long have you been using VMware? And what's your day job look like? Just give us a 4-minute elevator pitch on what you do to make a living.
Yeah. So I mean, full disclosure, I'm back at NetApp. For those that might not know yet, for the last couple of years, but I saw my first vMotion in 2006. And it changed my life. And I went on this. I was still, in the private sector at the time, or working for a healthcare company. And this was, I think this was pre vSphere days. Like we were still around pre-virtual center days. So getting into all of that stuff, and I basically learned all of that, all of the VMware stuff throughout the late 2000s. Joined NetApp in 2011 after learning all of that and getting certified. And I can remember even in my time, early days of NetApp, still walking around listening to TalkShoe with John and the VMware Communities folks, all the way back to the late 2000s. So I've been around it for a long time. Multi-year vExpert, VCP 345. I think I gave up after that, if I'm being completely honest.
Right.
But beyond that, it's been a lot of stuff of transitioning my career into the cloud, doing more with AWS, Azure, and Google. VMware is in those conversations constantly, in some way, shape, or form. You never have one of those without either an existing on-prem installation of vSphere or looking at running VMC and stuff like that. So yeah, I've been around VMware for a better part of 15 years at this point. Love the community. It's one of the things that I give tons of credit to where I am in my career. The family reunion nature of VMworld is a reason to go all by itself, much less all of the things that you learn and get exposed to there. And it was very weird not to have it this year in the traditional sense.
It is one of those weird things, right? That goes on that we're all trying to get through engaging, and there are some benefits of the way we're engaging, because I wouldn't be engaged with you, right? Like, and I wouldn't be sitting cross camera.
That's true.
So the cameras do. Pat Kelsinger was on a company all hands yesterday, and he said this, like, on one hand, it hurts our engagement, and the other hand, it has enhanced it, because I've met probably double the number of people or triple the number of people I normally meet, but I don't meet them in real life, right? It's all these, he said, I've actually got Zoom butt, right? Which I had to laugh at, right? Like where you're just sitting in your chair hour after hour because it's just more people to engage with. So yeah, Bat Kelsinger terms it Zoom butt. So we got the Zoom butt going on, but at the same time, what we can't do anything until we, apparently get a vaccine, right? And so here we all are. And yet at the same time, we're accelerating some movement to cloud services and cloud. The Pat talked about that. And we're accelerating this video interaction, online conferencing environment. I can't see VMworld just going back to a non-online experience next year, right? I have a feeling that this is here to stay, that we're going to be Zooming and we're going to be online engaging, and then having a physical event too, right? I think they're going to look at, and I think our target is 120,000 people coming to the VMworld online event this year. And I think they're going to make it, right? I think they're going to hit the number. And that's like compared to like 30,000 plus or 40,000, 38,000 in the physical space. And so we've tripled the number of people that are engaged here. So they're not going to be able to let those numbers go, right? Wow. They're going to require that. So switching gears here, let's talk Discord. Everybody, if you've heard of Discord, you probably heard it from a gamer perspective, right? Twitch and Discord go hand in hand. You're playing games, you get on a chat server. Talk to us a little bit about Discord. Give everybody a sense of what this is in case people don't know what it is.
Sure. It's just another collaboration platform out there that's come out of the evolution of other communication platforms like TeamSpeak or Ventrilo or some of those older ones. If you've played World of Warcraft in the past, obviously I have, you probably got into a raid or with a group of friends in some way, got onto comms and talked to each other through some sort of fight. And we had TeamSpeak, we had Mumble, we had Ventrilo, all of these things. Then Discord came around, and one of their big claims to fame was they came out with the crisp audio plugin, audio codec to make things sound a lot better, less latency, all of those kinds of. So a lot of people jumped over and switched. Plus, it became more adopted because of some of the collaboration around the old school IRC and forums mentalities that we had around the mid 2000s, doing a combination of text channels on top of those voice channels. So now all of a sudden you didn't need a website too. In addition to your comms platform, now you had an all-in-one. That was how it really kicked off and got started. And over the last year, they've been trying to take their focus away from gaming and move it over into more community focused. So now we're not doing all gaming all the time things. We're doing more communities. And we really took that as an idea of, once we got into COVID, I certainly had my Discord for people that hung around and watched my streams or wanted to collaborate with me on some content or anything like that, whether it's a YouTube video or a blog post or anything. But once enough people started getting in there and we got to about 100 people, I started going, this could be an even bigger community. Because one of the things that a lot of people don't realize is while you might have your own individual Slack or your own individual Teams, your own individual Discord or whatever it might be, there's some universal components that cross over in all of those things. You're all going to have the same sort of general chat. You're going to talk about pets. You're going to talk about all music and TV and movies. Like all of that crosses over. Well, what if you could sort of create that as a hub and then just start bolting on additional little sub communities to that? And that was really where this evolved from. That other things that people could opt into. One of those things surrounding that was virtual events. And we started doing things where we could live stream and screen share certain virtual events and what I like to call watch parties in the Discord directly, and be able to put those in there and have text-based chat channels for people not only to watch the stream, but chat right alongside of it, much like you can that I'm seeing right here on YouTube and Twitch, for example. So it brought the experience that people are used to on YouTube and Twitch into a more private community of sorts. And that was one of the big benefits of it.
Yeah, absolutely. The watch party term, I think, is the modern term that everybody can go, oh, okay, got it. It's a watch party where everybody comes in, and now people are watch partying on Netflix movies. They're doing all kinds of things like that, which, now I can sit down, and COVID has accelerated this journey where I don't think everybody would have been sitting around having watch parties with Netflix on Discord, right? But because of COVID, it has brought this out. Now it's actually you can have a watch party on Tuesday night where my friends, my younger friends, and even my kids' friends, they used to do a Thursday night party where everybody would get together and hang out physically, and that was it. They could allocate, like, because everyone has to drive, and then one's up in San Francisco, the other one lives over here. They all drive in and they get together once a week. But now with digital online, you can have watch parties Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. You can do it whenever you want to, right? And there is another mobile app that's out here that does the same kind of thing. I forget.
Well, you can do it on Twitch as well. Now they basically, Amazon has enabled anyone that is Amazon Prime subscribed. You can start a stream on Twitch and pull any piece of content you want out of the Amazon TV and movie library. Start that as a watch party, and any viewers that are also Amazon Prime subscribers can log in and authenticate with their thing and watch it with you right there on Twitch.
Boom.
It's fantastic.
Yeah. It is pretty cool. And so welcome to now our topic, which is, some of us, I think I tried to do Twitch on CloudCred last year with, got some CloudCred members together and tried to do live streaming on Twitch, right? We weren't doing obviously Discord conversations with it, but the vCommunity, I think, is dabbling in this, and now because of this acceleration, here we are, and along comes VMworld, where VMworld, the events team, which I'm not really part of the events team. We're in digital marketing. Events is in a different team now, but we roll up under the CMO, which is a big organization. They've been struggling just to keep up with running a live event, right? Like they got all this stuff, they had to record all the sessions. There's 500 sessions to record. Hats off to them. They've adjusted, right? In April, all of a sudden they had contracts of, they had to pivot massively, right? So no fault to them that they're a team of 10 permanent and some contractors, that they had to do a lot of pivoting. And so when we talk to them about, hey, how are we going to have live, how are we going to have a hang space? Where's the community booth going to be? How are we going to do this? And even John Ferrier from theCUBE came in and said, hey, where are we going to be? Education. If you tick through all the places that were in the hang space, we all showed up, bombarding them going, hey, how are we going to do this? And they're like, please go away. We're not even at the level to deal with any of that, right? Like there is no hang space. We're not doing a hang space. Go away, right? And even the community sessions were like, hey, we want to just do open community sessions. Can we just have, well, you can't have open sessions. You can only have pre-recorded streaming. That's it. And we're like, well, that's not very community oriented. Then they gave us oh, well, you can run Zoom sessions. And we're like, oh, great. That's all we want. We want Zoom sessions for communities. Everybody can jump on a Zoom session. You can have 1,000 people on a Zoom session. But then they came in and said, no, but the Zoom sessions can only be part of the paid environment, right? We're like, and then have to be special, right? And we're like, okay, that's not going to work, right? So we're kind of like, now, my hat's off to them. They're doing crazy work. all right, in comes you guys, right? The V community goes, well, all right, we know how to do this. Why don't we just do this on Discord? And because of my Twitch experience last year, I've kind of had in the back of my head that, we could go over on to Discord I kind of was in the Twitch Discord combo space, but I didn't realize that Discord had full online viewing, live streaming capability. That's when you guys got together and came and heard about you guys, and you were on social complaining and talking and so forth, that we realized that, hey, we could probably do something on Discord.
Yeah.
Here's where we're at. So we started working together, I think maybe a month ago or a month and a half ago.
A couple months ago, yeah.
To organize how could we create a kind of a viewing party, right, over on Discord, where everybody can be watching the live streams. To the Netflix idea, let's make a what do we call it? Not viewing party. Is it a view party?
Watch party.
A watch party. Sorry, wrong term. Let's make
and it's even bigger than that. It's even bigger than just the watch parties.
Right.
If I can jump in on you there, I mean, could we outsource your hang space to us, right? That's really, we are a destination. We are a venue, right? We're a virtual venue. We can set up as many rooms and channels and all of those kinds of things that you want to have. We've got special areas where we're going to have the watch parties that you can jump in and out of any of those 7 different track-based streams, and there's chat channels right alongside of them adjacent to where you watch them. We're going to have some stuff from Brown Bag. We're going to have some opening acts panels. We're going to have a stream of puppies. We're going to have the puppy party. Absolutely. We're going to have that in there for anybody to jump in. So value add across the board. Plus you get all of the benefit of everything else that is going on that you can opt into throughout the entire community. So if you and a couple of friends want to go play some games, fantastic. You can do that too.
So you're jumping ahead. I'm on a narrative here. So we were telling the history, which is I came going, hey, why don't we just do, a watch party? We could have the 7 VMworld streams, make a watch party. That's what you guys introduced, what Discord can actually do for us. And the way I would put it is, instead of saying a virtual hang space, which I know that's the way you're selling it, but the way I look at it is you're creating the virtual booth. If you ever to VMworld and been to the community booth, and we have different sections in community booth. We have Brown Bag, we have VMware Code, we have an entry, we have bean bags, you can hang out, you can chat, we have blogger tables. We have that place that the V community comes and hangs out. What I would say is that that's what we're creating here on Discord. You might go further and say you're creating a larger venue and a larger event, which is fine. But from my perspective, what I think is cool is we can make the V community booth. So if you come to VMworld and you've been to the community booth, what we really want you to do is come over to Discord and come to what we're creating here with, I want to say Orbital Jigsaw, right? Is that right? I got the right name. I got to say that 30 times to get it. Where we're really creating the community booth over on Orbital Jigsaw, right, for VMworld. And then you can expand that, take that, because we do, from a hang sites perspective, we do have other places that are also ramping up. So in the hang space, traditionally, we would have the Cube, right, running the news interviews. And so they're creating their own virtual environment. They're going to have news. And so different groups, the education will probably spin up some place that you can go. And then we're going to try to build a landing page where you can see all the things that are happening from a live online perspective, which I would just call like a big virtual hang space. But when you talk about the V community and where the V community should go, we always say, come by the community booth at VMworld and check it out, meet everybody, hang out. That's going to be, we're saying, go to Orbital Jigsaw. We've talked to V Brown Bag, get them involved. So V Brown Bag's working with you. The Underground, what do we call it? VMware Underground, or is it
VM Underground? Yeah.
VM Underground. They're working with you. So really the community booth is, hey, head on over to Orbital Jigsaw. There's a learning environment for coming up to speed with getting your Discord client set up. You have to go in and join the channel, right? It's not going to be just open to every spammer that's going to come in and spam, naked photos of themselves. You have to join it, right, and accept it. And then we have moderation, and we have governance, and we have practices that you have to adhere to in order to hang out in our booth. You got to be professionally dressed with a with clothes. That's my definition of professionally dressed. So, okay, with that said, why don't you take us through what are you guys building out with the V community now?
Yeah, sure. And listen, part of the mission statement of this was to provide a place where people could come and hang out with other people. Because if you, it's easy for us as vendors to get wrapped up in the event itself, right? Providing breakout sessions and what's going to be where and what activities can we do, and all. You kind of get tunnel vision on that. But in a way, you have to take yourself out of the event and put yourself at your desk as a viewer, as an attendee for a second. The person is going to be sitting there at their desk. How can you make it more interactive? How can you make that an entertaining experience? If you're just going to make a content repository of a bunch of recorded videos, I mean, I'm not gonna last very long on that. I can watch those on my own time, but if you want engagement, if you want interactivity, and people want to be around their friends and around, like I said earlier in the call, VMworld for a lot of us in the V community is an annual family reunion where we get to see everybody again. So how could we create that kind of experience in a place where people could all watch these sessions together? How could we have birds of a feather voice channels around different topics, much like Eric, you used to put the tags on the lunch tables during lunch so that we could just walk up and, oh, this is a storage table. Let's talk about vSAN or in that app or storage or whatever. Well, networking table, cloud table, whatever it might be. We're going to have channels like that where people can just drop in and have conversations. We want to be able to still give swag out. We want to be able to play interactive games. We're going to be doing giveaways that are being sponsored by some of the favorites throughout it. So it is a lot more than sitting there and watching videos at your desk. And that's what I wanted to create, was an experience that was going to be more than just watching, a bunch of breakout recorded sessions. We've seen the ups and downs throughout the year. We've seen the highs of what a really good experience is. And I won't name names of who's who, but there's been some really good ones and really bad ones of virtual events throughout this year. And I think we all have seen this kind of wave and tide of it. I want there to be a focus, not less on the event and more on the throughout it. So it is a lot.
That was me. Sorry.
I want the focus to be on the experience, not the event itself, for the attendees. That's really what it's come to. And that's what every time we make a change or every time we add something to the Discord community. And frankly, you have the ability to come into Discord and only opt into the VMworld activities. As you'll see upon entry, you can only see VMworld. So if you're only there, all of the other stuff will be hidden from you. You can certainly come in and opt into it, see the rest of it. And if you don't like it, go back in and unopt out of it or opt out of it so you don't see it. But all of that stuff is completely flexible. So you can literally jump in and see only the VMworld activities.
So Nick, if someone would want to get started with this, how do they're listening along, where do they go? Let's say I'm not familiar with Discord before. I haven't used that platform and I'm interested in participating. Where do I go? How do I get started?
Sure. The easiest is I've got a redirect URL off of my website, datacenterdude.com/Discord, DISCORD. And you can that'll jump you over to it. There's a client that you can install on desktop. You can access it directly in a browser. It's got a mobile app as well. So it's got some really modern authentication techniques. It supports 2FA. So all of that kind of stuff. But datacenterdude.com/Discord. We're getting to the point where we're going to have enough users, hopefully by the time we get to VMworld, where we've got a static vanity URL, I guess you could say, that'll be easy to remember for everybody, more akin to Orbital Jigsaw. But yeah, datacenterdude.com/Discord. If you hit that link, you'll get prompted to either create an account or log in with an existing one, and you'll be off to the races.
And then can you walk them through? I know I hadn't been a Discord user prior to this. I could call me old school. I just haven't used the platform before. And there was a little bit, as Eric had mentioned, some rules and regs that we're asking the users to look through and before they can actually fully participate. And understandably so. Can you describe that process a little bit of what a new user might need to go through? And I know you have a great video tutorial out there to walk them through the interface and what they need to do.
Sure. Yeah. It's an onboarding process. If you think of it that way, you land in our rules channel in the lobby and think of it like a sort of concierge. We're going to walk you to the front desk. We're going to check you in. We're going to make sure that you sign that you're here and that you agree to the policies of the place, right? And that's what we look at it as, is we want it to be sort of the
registration desk, right? Just it's like a physical event. You need to go in, you need to get your creds, you need to have your badge.
Right. It's like that. We want it to be that same experience. And we have a few channels that are open upon entry. If you have trouble, we have a concierge desk channel there as well. Pop in, say, hey, I'm having trouble. What do I do? But if you start in the rules channel where you land, there's a quick little T's and C's that you go in. And at the bottom down there, you'll see a green check mark, and there will be a bot that will assign you a role once you click agree to that. That's for our tracking, as well as it is an auto mod type of functionality that will basically do some role-based access control for us. So upon agreeing to that, you'll be opened up to some additional stuff. And to get to the VMworld stuff, there's a channel called Role Selection. And in there, you'll see all of the little sub-communities that you can opt into. One of those is the good old VMware squares, the orange and blue squares that we did as a bit of a throwback hat tip, not anything to, be anybody to be upset about. But if you click on that one, you'll see the VMworld stuff open up. All of the channels, if you opt into that. We have people in the Discord community that have really no ties to tech and no reason to attend VMworld. So we wanted to make sure that we gave people that option as well. We are entertaining the idea that for the 2 days of the community that we just kind of open it up to everybody in case there are some changes, but we haven't really decided on that just yet. Stay tuned for that one. But yeah, agree to your terms and conditions and opt into the VMworld role selection.
I know when I first joined the channel, I was like, okay, well, where's the I'm thinking of sort of like the Slack, the sub channels where I want to go drive right into the content, but it's clearly there. It's spelled out. It's great that you have to go through the T's and C's, but just follow along. Yeah. Actually, RTFM.
Yep, exactly.
And follow along with the process. And if you're initially just diving in and you're looking for those channels, they're not going to appear. Correct. You have to go through. You have to click off on and read through. It's like agreeing to the EULA before you can actually do the install, and then all the content comes along. So be patient, read through it, and then all the content is there for someone to enjoy.
And be sure to say hi to Balmerbot when you join.
Yeah, I do have a question because one of the things that I got to ask is, like, if you're a Discord user and you've been a Discord user for a couple of years, would this be very familiar to you? Like when you came into this channel, this would just be a natural thing. You'd be going, oh yeah, I got to click here, accept this, and now I can jump from meeting room to meeting room. Because I noticed that I'm brand new, so is Matt. We struggled. You're always, when I come meet you there, right, and you're always like grabbing me and dragging me into a room because I'm completely lost, right? And what I would say is that when you for the vCommunity, when you experience this, you're just a noob. I'm a noob. Understand there's just a learning, and you're going to put some time into the learning. So don't say, oh, this sucks because I can't figure out what's going on. Just
by time you mean about 10 minutes, maybe max. We're not talking about hours here.
No, it's not. It's not like you're learning how to write a kernel device driver or something.
Right.
But I just want to throw that out there, make sure we say that like 15 times, that look, this is a new platform. It's a super powerful, cool platform. It's like learning VI. Once you get the hang of it, it's really nice, right? It's very user, it's everywhere. And you can be, it's not what I would write code on, but it's still great for admin. That's what I say about Discord. You understand there is a learning moment that, but then you're going to be able to put that on your checkbox on your resume, and you're
absolutely
going to go experience.
I love the fact that you guys forced us in some ways to learn Discord. It's another comms platform that now I have a little bit of experience with.
No, and I made a video. One of the inspirations for this is I made a video on my YouTube channel that you can check out from back in May, where I was talking about resurrecting the tech community. And what I found was that a lot of people had siloed themselves off in sort of enterprisey Slack and Teams. And even inside of those, you had these kind of walled gardens of different sub-communities and teams that you had joined. And even the dark confines of SIGs and GitHub and all of that kind of stuff, like we all splintered off and we all went in a different way. I wanted to bring everything back together. And I think the ability that Discord brings to the table is not only bring that sort of text-based chat and voice in a consolidated platform back in a much bigger way, but also you get a lot of the familiar feeling of IRC and forums and collaboration opportunities and things that we all loved from the 2000s. Well, maybe not all loved, but some people loved.
Or do we have like scrolling Simpson GIFs from like IRC?
You have
channel?
Absolute control. Yes, you can do GIFs thank you for saying GIFs, not GIFs.
Nice. So awesome. I was on Facebook yesterday, and I didn't know that Facebook messaging now also spins up calls and videos. So I think there's just going to constantly be all the platform vendors trying to compete, in grabbing this space. I feel like Discord shaved off 10 years. I feel like I'm 10 years younger when I got learned this, because my kids use it. A lot of other people use it. The gamers use it, and it's growing. So I like that. So it's worthwhile to invest in it. And regardless of whether you care about Discord or not, this is where we're driving the V community this year. This is going to be the community booth, right, for this year. And as I said, I think I can see this continuing on because, and I like the gaming environment, so why not? Like, let's go grab this, do this. And just like V Brown Bag, you know, the community team is me and Corey, and then I get a little, you know, and then Julia as a contractor. Like, we don't have a big team at VMworld. We have like a couple people, right? So we do have to scale and use the community. I'm a community guy. I put it on my Twitter feed. I'm a community guy. That's how I make a living. But we don't have a big team. We have like 5 people, and they all do various things, code. So the community has to do it. And what we have to do is use VMware's brand and traffic driver to be able to support the community when things like this you're willing to put your time to create this environment. So I'm sure it'll be a little bit bumpy, but it's also going to be one of these things that if we do year after year, we could actually have a really nice environment for people that can't make it to VMworld every year, which I think is about only 20% of the community ecosystem can actually ever come to VMworld, right? So the fact that we could create something like this that would survive year after year, where we have a place that we create a virtual conference environment, and you're willing to help us do it, is something that we can make a checkbox going, yeah, look, we can do this.
Yeah, fantastic. And it's not just VMworld either. We're doing this for, I'm in talks with the director of events for the whole Linux Foundation. There's all of their regional events that they have. We're convinced that this is never going to go away now. As you said at the beginning, we may go back to some essence of physical at a certain point, but things are forever changed. And I think the idea of having a virtual venue or a destination like Discord, like what we've constructed here, can only grow over time. And hell, frankly, we could even run several of these in parallel if we had conflicting dates and things like that. Different groups are going to want to be involved in one or more or multiple different events that could be going on at any given time. So yeah, the beauty of this is it sort of scales infinitely and linearly, and we can do many of these as we want, but we keep the community together. And I hope everybody can see the forest for the trees in that aspect. We're not all just going to one thing anymore. Everybody's involved in 2, 3, 10 different things. And if we can keep everybody together in the space and enjoy all of these events virtually as a unit, it really just keeps everything flowing and keeps everything nice and cohesive.
Yeah, very good. Very good. And I would also mention that we did present this to the VMworld team so that we don't have to be a rogue world, just like we do V Brown Bag. V Brown Bag, we sponsor V Brown Bag sometimes. If they need a little extra funding, we try to get some extra funding. Same with this environment, right, where we presented it to the VMworld team and they were like, yeah, sure, this sounds great, go for it. I still want to get them to give us kind of a nav structure that allows people to come in to the main VMworld.com site and see what's actually happening with the cube, what's actually happening with VMware code, what's happening with the V community, so that you can look around and kind of see a virtual set of things to go do and experience, right? Yeah. The other thing that we could do from your perspective, and maybe we can offer this back to the VMworld team, which is if you can determine how many people are watching the live streams, because we haven't talked about the live streams yet. I didn't want to jump right into that, but I believe that we have the 7 streams that VMworld, and we're going to try to do watch parties for those along with this environment. Maybe we could give them back metrics, right? Because I think they're always looking for like, how many live streams do they get on their live stream? And if we have a way of collecting how many people are actually watching on Discord, we could feed that back. We could have a line item in their tracking spreadsheet that went, the V community Discord, had X number of live streams. That would be really cool. And I think that would also help them understand how it doesn't matter whether they drive viewers to this live stream, because they can count them, right? Because marketing is all about how many people they want to say, oh, X number of people came.
We can absolutely track the number of people that were in a voice channel, how long they stayed in there, timestamps and everything. Like all of those analytics are tracked on the back end by Discord that we have access to. Absolutely.
Yeah. So that, I think,
and it's all anonymized data.
Yeah, super. Yeah, we don't want to. Nobody wants names. They don't use VMworld to have kind of like marketing flows. They just like to be able to say, 150,000 people, because we get into these races with Oracle and all the big tech firms that can say, yeah, they had 100,000 or they had 200,000 or they had 1,000,000, whatever it is. So being able to feed that community, from my perspective, I can feed that number back in. That's also then from a vCommunity. If you're listening to this podcast, if you drive over there and watch the live streams in the watch party, or you come to VMworld, watch it wherever, it doesn't impact. You're still part of the VMworld show. Right, which I think would be awesome. Right,
Nick, is there equivalent like of a watch party schedule of as far as which channel is going to, like, hey, I want to watch the keynote. When do I need to do that, or what channel do I need to go to? Is there how do I find that information?
Yeah, so if you're in the Discord, there's a sort of a help desk section there that's VMworld 2020 info, and in there you'll see a channel that says schedule. We're still working on putting that together to make it look nice with some graphics and everything like that. We still got a month, right? So, but to answer your question, yes, there's two things at play here. VMware, you guys are curating a set of breakout sessions into a track single live stream, from what I understand. And there's going to be 7 of those, 1 per track. We will be doing watch parties for those on the same schedule that VMworld is doing those. We'll also have adjacent chat channels where people can talk about what they're watching, but yes, it will be the keynotes and the other tracks. So all 7 major tracks will have a broadcast for each one of them that will include the keynotes, and people can dance around as they need to. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. There's a question out there from chat. And again, for people that don't necessarily know Discord, how does this scale? Let's say that we get 10, 15,000 users into this channel eventually, or even it blows up for the event itself. How are we set up for this particular communications platform to scale out users and to add moderators and whatnot, Nick?
To answer Graham's question, 100,000 users, I don't know, but if we get 10,000 people in the server, we get what's called a partner status with Discord, and that gives us a bit of elevated and priority service level, you could say. 100,000 people, I'm not sure. I don't think 100,000 people are coming. I'll be so pleasantly surprised if 100,000 people show up to the Orbital Jigsaw Discord.
You won't.
No, I'm not expecting that at all. I'm expecting a nice, smooth couple thousand people. Let's have a really good experience. Stress testing. We're going to be working on some stress testing over the next couple of weeks leading up to the event. We're going to do some scheduled stress test times of each of the voice channels. I know we can have up to, at any given time, I believe it's 50 people in one voice channel. Meaning 50 people could be watching one stream in there at one time, and we can quickly add on additional ones as needed based on scaling it up. For example, if we need overflow or whatever reasons, that can be handled fairly seamlessly. So scaling wise, I'm not really sure. I think if we threw 100,000 people in a single Discord server, Discord would go, WTF, what is this? They'd probably get really concerned without talking to them.
I think they League of Legends, I go to the esports tournaments for League of Legends, and they do large numbers, right? But they're in the 10K range, right?
Yeah.
That's what I'd say. Now they argue that no, we're bigger than the Super Bowl, right? But if you go in and it crashes because we have 10,000 people, that's the problem to have, right? So to answer Graham's question, it's supposed to scale. It's supposed to scale.
I am in several Discords that have 60,000 people in them, and they don't even hiccup. So I'm not too terribly concerned about the 5 to 10K that we might have.
So let's talk a little bit about some needs as we come into the last 10 minutes. I know we got a late start here, but sure. I know you guys are hoping for some vCommunity help. Can we talk through a couple of things that you're looking for help with?
Yeah, it's really being shepherds is what it comes down to. We've set up the infrastructure, and that field of dreams stuff where if you build it, they will come is not realistic. So we need the vCommunity. We need the vExperts. We need VMware to help shepherd people over to the server. I've got a big 20-minute video walking through it. I'm working on making another one that's about 3 to 5 minutes that will just cover, here's how to onboard, here VMworld attendee, here's how to onboard into the vCommunity Discord setup, right? I want to make that one so we can start blasting that out and maybe do some social promotion with it a couple of weeks leading up to the event. But yeah, being shepherds, driving people into the Discord, especially the vExpert community. If you guys could get in there and get familiars, that way when regular attendees start coming in, you can be there and help be concierges of sorts to help guide people around. we've got the advocacy group channels. We want to make sure we give people their designations. So if you're vExpert or in vMug or any of that kind of stuff, we want to make sure we give you that little sort of badge as a role as well, and you'll have your own little rooms. And that includes any of them from Veeam to Cisco to and beyond, all of those advocacy groups out there. So we look at this as a bigger kind of community thing. We want people in there to stay in there, not just come for VMworld and take off. It's going to be bigger than just the one event. There's more going on than just VMworld. But helping guide people in there, help shepherd them through the onboarding experience would be the most help. If you want to throw some exam vouchers out for some giveaways, that would help too.
Yeah,
hint, hint, wink, wink.
Yeah. It is interesting to see if we could create a way to get stickers and that kind of stuff, right? So that maybe a sticker exchange.
We are creating a GitHub repository for digital swag, and we'll have the ability for if any sponsors or Expo folks would like to upload stuff or do a PR request to put their graphics up or anything like that, so that maybe we could make some stuff off the back of the show and get it sent out to whoever was an attendee. If maybe you attended the keynotes and you wanted to get a thumbs up sticker or something like that. We're trying to come up with cool, clever swag ideas that we can do digitally that don't require physical handouts.
Nice.
So more on that soon.
Yeah, and I think, like I say, in the land of getting an event ready, 29 days is still a long time, right?
Oh,
yeah. The New York theaters where they're doing a dry run through everything 3 days earlier, it's a completely mess. But then the last 2 days, everything comes together and it turns out really well. So call the vExperts. I know Corey's going to do a primer. So we're working on a primer email that's going to send out once you guys are kind of ready to go, so that we can send that out saying, hey, vExperts, go here early. We're going to give away some cool stuff. We're going to encourage the experts to go do it so that you can possibly win some Apple giveaways. So we want the experts to get over there and get trained and help you engage, because this is going to be kind of our vCommunity booth. So we're going to set up some giveaways to get you over there. Much like when you come to a vCommunity booth, you a lot of times we have giveaways. We're going to do a little bit of that. It's hard because we have to ship everything, so we're not sure how big a program we're going to do. I hear that we're I don't know how much I'll say. I hear we're doing super cool little Lego guys this year. So William Lamb's got some cool Lego guys. We're doing a VMware code Lego guy. So there'll be a way to go get your cool Lego guy and some other stuff. So we're getting that ready. We're going to send out to all the experts listening. We're going to send out a primer so that you know how to get there early and say hello to Nick. And Nick, you have two other guys that are also helping you. I always engage with you. Why don't you do a shout out for them, so if the people come in, they can work with them too.
I would be remiss if I didn't mention them, and I definitely didn't want to get out of here without shouting them out. First of all, Jeremiah Dooley, he and I go back almost 20 years, and he was the first one that I showed the Discord tech community to, that I first started way back earlier in the year. He was the very first one that I said, hey, is this crazy? Am I insane for thinking this is a good idea? And he kind of validated that I was not insane, and we went off and we've been building it over the course of the last 6 months. Another good friend, Jason Benedicic, who is over in the UK, longtime friend and colleague as well. Those two guys have been helping me with a lot of the work. I'm sure you guys have seen Jeremiah's blog posts, the two that where we're asking for help. The second post, the one that most recent one that he's got up there, has a form, vExperts, where we need volunteers for certain things. We would love for some of the vExperts to take on some of those roles, such as being a broadcaster of a stream, as long as you've got a good wired connection, things like that. If you have more questions, jump into the Discord and talk to us. But yeah, all kinds of good stuff happening over there. Big shout out to Jason and Dooley for helping me get all of this underway. I wouldn't be here if we hadn't had some of those conversations when registration was announced a couple of months ago.
So Nick, any chance you could tweet out that link? I see your handle there at Data Center Dude. Could you tweet out that link to the vExperts and those of our listeners that would be interested in volunteering?
Absolutely. I'll do a little call to action as soon as we get done here.
Awesome. Again, at Data Center Dude.
Yeah. So I want to make sure we loop back and also mention Alistair Cook and vBrownBag. I know you're working with them. What are you looking from a standpoint of the vBrownBag stuff? How are you going to try to integrate that? And we should also talk about VM Underground as well.
Yeah, and those are the ones that are, I mean, as far as the watch parties and the community as a whole, that stuff, I can give you 2 thumbs up, ready to go. I believe Alistair and the rest of the other V Brown Bags stuff and the opening acts folks, they're still figuring out some stuff. I know Alistair has a forum out there if you want to do a second chance presentation. He's constantly looking for content. So if you have a presentation, if you didn't get your CFP or your abstract accepted for VMworld, hit up Alistair, hit up V Brown Bag, because they're definitely looking for some sessions. I think what his intention is that he's going to multi-stream it. So he'll be doing some stuff for you guys as well. And I think they'll also be streamed over in the Discord, to be determined still at this point. We haven't finalized plans with those guys.
Most
just yet.
likely what we're trying to plan on, I've chatted with Alistair a couple times going, hey, let me know how I can help this. But let's get the V Brown Bag stuff. I know we're streaming some of the V Brown Bag right into the VMworld, sessions, which are the birds of a feather, which means you have to buy the $2.99 membership. But then how do we get those streams over someplace free? And so I've said, hey, let's go look at Orbital Jigsaw and let's get it over on Discord.
Yep.
So you're working with them, and I haven't heard what you're doing with VM Underground, but that's Brian and Jim Millard and those guys that are putting the trying to put the opening acts panels together. And I haven't heard much from them. They're still working out what they can do in this virtual world. Maybe they can give you a feed, or we can grab a feed and then put it.
That's really all we need. And it's in Discord. It's no different than doing a screen share on a Zoom call or something like that. It's not like you have to have OBS with an RTMP server, and it's not a live stream in that respect. You're sharing a screen.
Right.
So we'll figure that
out. On the land, we didn't talk streams, but VMware is going to have these 7 streams. The keynotes is the 7 streams start after the keynote, right? The keynotes happen every day, and then there's streams, which are basically just pre-recorded sessions lined up streaming that then they're going to moderate chat on, right? And so what we're talking about on Discord is grabbing those and doing a watch party, which is redirecting those streams right into Discord, so that if you come in, you can choose, I want to go watch the security stream, and then you're in Discord chatting with the V community during the sessions that are streaming, and then you can drop off into a chat room and talk to people about a given topic, and that's that. And so you're trying to set up the 7 streams, and you wouldn't mind some help there. If you're a streamer, if you're listening to this and you're a streamer with a PC and you want to learn how to grab a stream and restream to be able to help us host the watch party, you do have a couple of those positions that you're still probably going to likely want to.
Yeah, and don't be scared off by the word streamer. You don't have to be a streamer. You have to have a decent computer with a decent internet connection, and that's it. You'll be doing a screen share. We'll walk you through the whole process. But if you've got the time and the availability and you want to be a broadcaster of other sessions throughout in a track, that's where we need the help. And I'll get that form tweeted out again. We need to start advertising that more.
Yeah, and that'll be kind of the call to the experts that I'm working with Corey on, is that like how you can help lightweight, and if you want to be a heavy contributor because you are got some time, all right, or just want to get your name out there and be, also if you're looking for ways to be qualified as a V expert, giving VMUG sessions, doing V Brown Bag sessions, and now doing Orbital Jigsaw sessions. This will get you cred on your application to become a V expert. So also just another venue. So we're going to be doing that call to try to get people, make them aware of what they could be doing here, which I think is good. We're at the top of the hour. So Matt, I'll give you one. I think Matt, I don't see Matt in the list any longer. Maybe he had the classic cable network problem as well. So Nick Howell, thanks a lot, not only for coming on the show, but just doing this and and helping us expand what the V community and everybody that's running VMware has as part of this I Love You ecosystem.
Yeah. And it's the family reunion. Please be sure and come in and join us, guys. Again, datacenterdude.com/Discord. Also, you'll find tech advocacy groups. Identify as whatever advocacy group you're a part of in that access verification channel, so that we can get you with your right badges and all of that kind of stuff as well. But looking forward to the next month of having everybody come and join us. Eric, please open the floodgates. We're ready to receive everyone. We've got all of the infrastructure and everything is built and ready to go. And everybody will be able to access all the stuff. It's open and ready to go as of yesterday. So
and hey,
we are ready.
Yeah, and this plan, that's what we talked about. September, when we start opening up, talking about it, getting people excited about it. I'm excited about it, and so it's awesome. Thanks for being here. You'll see us tweeting it out now. We're going to start a social media campaign on it, and I think again this is going to be a super cool year. And come by, check out V Barbecue. Check out what Nick has the coolest backdrop I've ever seen. So he's the man. You got to see this, even if you don't want to watch YouTube video. Come check that out because he is super cool. If you're listening to this, go to youtube.com/vbarbecue and check out what his backdrop.
It's not that cool. I like wrestling and video games, guys. Don't let Eric sell you on something.
Yeah, don't sell you. With that, V Barbecue, I would say that this weekend, oh my gosh, we did what did we do? Porterhouse. We did porterhouse steaks on the grill. So you can watch a YouTube video on how to make porterhouse. You buy the steak is expensive. It's like a $30 steak. But the reason is it's got two cuts. On one side of the bone is kind of like a filet mignon, and the other side is New York steak. So you get two types of meat on each side of the bone. You put that on your grill. You have to heat your grill up with charcoal to like 500 degrees, and you put it on for 2 minutes on one side, 2 minutes on the other side, then flip it back 2 minutes, and then flip it back 2 minutes. So the whole process takes 10 minutes, but you glaze it on the outside. The inside turns out medium, juicy, and then you get two cuts of meat, which I did not understand, but holy smokes. If you haven't tried that, that's something fun to go do for the weekend project. Until next week, thanks for being here and have a great week.